What's good, you guys? Daniel Cruz here, back with another episode of Cook with Cruz. So we have another breakdown today, and today we're going to be breaking down one of the latest beats that I've made, Take It Slow. This was recommended to me by Viz, so shout out to Viz for the recommendation on breaking this one down. This beat is also one of my more favorite ones that I've made recently, so I'm excited to break this one down for you guys. So that's what we're getting into today. Before we jump in, as always, please leave a thumbs up on the video. I greatly appreciate it. Definitely helps out the series and keeps it going, so I appreciate you guys that do that. If this is also your first time tuning in, I do these episodes every single Sunday, so make sure you're subscribed with the bell turned on so you don't miss out on these episodes. Once we got all those things checked off, let's jump in and see how Take It Slow was made. Okay, so starting the beat off, we're gonna start off with a sample from AB. Shout out to AB for the dope sample. That's what sparked everything for this beat here. So let me go ahead and play that raw file now so you can hear what I heard that gave me the inspiration to make the beat. So I thought that was fire. I can definitely work with something like this and make something crazy. So after hearing that, I wanted pretty much everything in that sample minus the bass stab. The bass is dope, but I wanted to thin that out just so I can have a little more control over what I wanted to do with the bass, especially because I wanted to add an 808 in this. Definitely got some like Bryson Tiller Trapsoul vibes, so I thought an 808 was going to be important for this one. So I was able to have the files for the sample here. This is why having the tracked out stems for me is super helpful. I really just get to pick which instruments that I want to have in the beat. And so if we look into our playlist here, it is pretty simple, not anything too crazy going on. These top three right here are the instruments from the sample. We have a perfect amount here, just three things going on, and then of course I'm going to do my own thing down here. As far as the sample itself, I kept it in the same key. The tone of it was perfect to me, didn't want to change that. One thing I did do was speed it up though. We went from 110 to 116 on the tempo. I really liked all the effects and filters that AB put on the sample, so that's all I really did for the melodies here. But going into the playlist here, looking how we start the beat off, we start with our main three instruments. This right here is going to be a consolidated version of the chords and the pad and the little wah guitar in the background. So then we have these nice filtered drums behind that. And then of course our vocal sample behind that. So we're just going to stick to those three for our intro so we can really set the tone and the vibe here. So after that, we're going to start to slowly build up and add some drums. And just how I structured it here, I have the verse coming in first. And so starting out the verse here, I'm going to take out our vocal sample, which you can see right here, it's gone. This is going to leave room for the artist when they come in right here. And I'm also going to start bringing in pretty much most of our drums here. So let's start going over those. We'll go ahead and start with our clap. This is our closed hat pattern right here. We're going to have a second closed hat pattern. This is just to kind of keep a tempo rhythm. Here's our open hat. And this is like a filtered percussion tom here. So that's how we're going to start the beat off with the drums. So let's run it back and see how we come in. And now moving on to the next section of the verse. This is where we're gonna have our kick and 808 come in, which is probably the most important part of the drums here. Just how I placed the 808 and kick, it really added a nice bounce to everything. And as you can see here, our vocal sample is gonna come back in right here. And because we have everything coming back in, I'm gonna chop certain parts out of our guitar and pad here. This is just gonna help leave it open just a little bit because we're still in the verse. So now let's go over the kick and 808. Start with the kick real quick. So here goes our kick pattern right here. And now for our 808 here. And this is, of course, just following the root notes of the chord progression in the sample here. So let me go ahead and play the kick and 808 together now, just so you can kind of hear the placement on where I placed everything. So there goes pretty much all of the drums right there. Let's go ahead and see how everything is gonna sound together now. So now we got a nice bounce going. And then just moving on throughout the verse, we're gonna thin out again, take out the vocal sample. We're gonna take out our kick for half of this section here. And now for our pre-hook and hook here. As far as instruments go, we're gonna pretty much have what we had in the middle of the verse here when the kick and 808 dropped. And then moving on down here, I do add my own bass right here. And for our bass, we are using Omnisphere, Green Torch bass as the preset. Nothing special here, just hitting the root notes of our chords. And one more thing I'm going to add some more filtered drums in here. So I did add some effects to this to achieve the sound it has in the beat. This is what it's going to sound like, dry with no effects. And now looking into the mixer to see what I did here. Start off with some EQ, band passed it pretty much. We added our stock fruity flanger here and Echo Boy Jr. for a little bit of delay. So now this is what our clip is going to sound like with the effects we just put on. Gives it a whole different sound, but we're gonna have that playing together with our other drums that were in the original sample too. So all together, this is what the pre-hook section of the hook is gonna sound like. And now for the hook of the beat, we're just gonna have everything play together now. And the last thing that I do here is I duplicate our vocal sample right here. I threw that up a whole octave, which you can see here. And we added some reverb to it, kind of a lot actually. And then I have it turned down, so it's just gonna sit in the background, give it a nice touch. So now let me go ahead and play pre-hook going into the hook part, just so we can hear what we're working with. And after that, just rinse and repeat and go into our second verse. So there goes the whole beat right there. Take it slow, broken down in detail for you so you can see what I did. Hope you guys enjoyed today's breakdown. If you did, please leave a thumbs up on the video. I would greatly appreciate that. If you happen to have any suggestions for me on any beats you want to see broken down, please leave them in the comments below. I will definitely get back to you and make an episode on that. So hit me up in the comments below. But either way, make sure you're subscribed. I'll be back next Sunday for you guys. And that is all for me today. I will see you guys next week. I'm out. Peace.